What about, can you tell me what are exosomes?
Exosomes.
Exosomes.
Look, I can't really tell you too much about exosomes because they're still really in their infancy.
Yeah.
I think they're a big trend at the moment. There's a lot of interest because we're always looking for new things to introduce to our clients. Exosomes are gaining a lot of popularity because they're a new, exciting thing. We don't really know much about them, and there's not a huge amount of study for topical skincare. They're basically, if you think of them like little extracellular vesicles that are carrying important nutrients and proteins for cellular communication, and they're thought to be great for skin rejuvenation and anti-inflammatory. But I think we need to understand as well that, just saying exosomes isn't really giving us much information because, as I said, they're little extracellular vesicles that are carrying information, but they can be carrying good information, but they can also be carrying bad information. So we need to make sure we're getting the right exosome with the right information. It's early days. There's not a lot of information out there at the moment or studies. Mm-hmm. I think there are some on the market where those exosomes are coming from. Some of companies are using human exosomes, and you've got that whole question of, yep, are we, how does that work? How would a plant exosome work? How is it getting in the skin? I think some companies are using them and needling to get that further into the skin. Right. So there's promise there, but there's not a lot of research. So it's early days with exosomes.
Is it like a delivery system? It delivers the protein or the amino acid
pretty
to
much.
the cell?
But they've got all these like rich nutrients
as well.
Depending on the exosome and what the company's using. So different exosomes are going to have different effects, right? So
interesting. What about growth factors?
Well, kind of a similar thing, really. So when we're talking about growth factors, again, where is that growth factor coming from? Is a plant growth factor going to do anything? Are we talking about peptides that are acting as growth factors? It depends on that individual ingredient. It then depends on the amount of that ingredient that's been used, and it depends on how is that ingredient being delivered into the skin. So with growth factors, personally, I would be more about treatments that are enhancing your own growth factors.
So that stimulate your own manufacturing.
Yes. So like,
collagen.
PRP, for instance, things like that. Growth factors in topical skincare, again, not a huge amount of solid peer-reviewed evidence. Early days.
One of the things I've discovered recently, snail mucin.
Snail mucin.
Can you tell me about
Big thing, I think it came out of Korea, if I'm right, but I might be wrong there, but it's an ingredient that's been trending.
Yes.
Look, really think of it like hyaluronic acid with some nutrients in there. And it literally is snail slime.
Right.
I think in Asia they were doing snail facials where they're literally putting snails on the face and letting the snail move over. Now they're growing, they've got snail farms where they're farming snails and extracting the snail mucin and putting it into skincare.
Right.
Obviously it would be purified in some way. So from an ethical perspective, it's probably not something that I would be a fan of. You can still get just as great ingredients, hydrating ingredients and nourishing ingredients without having to use snail mucin. So are there benefits from snail mucin? Potentially, yes, but you can still get benefits from things like hyaluronic acid and vitamins and minerals without having to use that.
Just to use that. Mushroom. We must talk about mushrooms.
Look, there's always ingredients that are coming out. And I think what we need to understand is that there's only a handful of evidence-based, peer-reviewed ingredients that have been shown to work in skincare. There's only a handful, and they would be things like your hydroxy acids, your niacinamide, your retinaldehyde, some of your B vitamins. There's only a handful. Mushrooms are a new ingredient. Perhaps they may have, polysaccharide, hydrating ingredients and benefits for the skin. Do they have strong peer-reviewed evidence base behind them? No, I don't think you're going to get a dermatologist saying, let's get you on the mushrooms. Might be a nice ingredient from a marketing perspective. May have some hydrating, anti-inflammatory benefits. Different mushrooms may have different properties. So it really depends on that individual ingredient. Some ingredients are derived from mushrooms and they may use a potent extract for a particular benefit. So it's hard to say as mushrooms as an umbrella term.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge mushroom fan.
Beta-glucan.
So beta-glucan is a fabulous ingredient. It is a polysaccharide. It's beautiful for soothing and hydrating on the skin. So great for hydration. Great to use in combination with things like your hyaluronic acid. Great to soothe and calm the skin. And it's also a prebiotic for the skin as well. So I love beta-glucan. I think it's a really underrated ingredient. And I think when combined with other ingredients, it's a great ingredient to use.
Visit our website to claim your free trial pack or schedule a consultation or in-salon demonstration.